At Special Effect, we use a range of equipment to assist players to access video games. In today's video, we will be showing the Catch-22 interface from OneSwitch. Whilst there is also a version of the Catch-22 available for Nintendo Switch consoles, in this video we will be looking at the version for the PS5 console. Switch ports. The Catch-22 has a port for every button on the controller, with the exception of the D-pad buttons. These ports are compatible with switches that have a 3.5mm jack, such as buddy buttons, spec switches, ultralight HD switches, and the digital Logitech G switches from their adaptive kit. There are also 4 ports marked with arrows, which each perform a left stick joystick direction. With this, you can hold down a button to perform a direction on the left stick, instead of using a joystick. For instance, the port that acts as left stick up will allow you to walk forward in games. You could use this alongside a joystick acting as right stick, so you can move in first-person perspective games using one joystick and one button instead of 2 joysticks. The right stick would act as the camera, and the switch plugged into the left stick up port will act as a walk forward button. You can then turn your character by moving the right stick left and right. Joystick ports. There are 4 USB ports on top that you can plug in USB joysticks. Compatible USB joysticks that we use as Special Effect include OneSwitch's zigzag joysticks, the Ultra Stick, and the Celtic Magic Feather joystick. You can also plug in joysticks with a 3.5mm jack if you have a OneSwitch HID Remapper V8 adapter plugged into the USB port. Plugging a joystick into the L USB port will act as the left stick. The R USB port will act as the right stick. The D-pad USB port will act as a directional button pad. Additional controllers. The Help USB port will allow you to plug in additional controllers. You can use an official standard PS4 controller, PS5 controller, Hori PS4 Wide Mini Gamepad, or PS4 Nacon Wide Compact controller plugged into the Catch-22, where you can use it as a second controller alongside any peripherals already plugged into the Catch-22. This option can be useful for those who may not be able to access many switches and joysticks via the Catch-22 and require somebody else to use a standard controller. It can also be a useful option if you can access some or most of the inputs on the standard controller, but may need some extra switches or joysticks to make up for controller inputs that are otherwise difficult to access. You can also use a second standard controller without needing to plug it into the Catch-22. To do this, you need to turn on the Assist controller option in the PlayStation System settings. From the PS Home menu, navigate to the Settings icon and select it. Then select Accessibility. Navigate to Controllers and you'll see the option for Use Second Controller for Assistance. Select this and tick the Use Assist Controller option. You can now turn on a second controller and log in to the same account so that you can use both the Catch-22 and standard controller together. Some features will not be available on the Assist controller, such as vibration, adaptive triggers, or the ability to remap it. You can also add 1 or 2 PlayStation Access controllers to a setup if, for instance, you wanted to use the Access controller's joystick, buttons, and or 3.5mm switch or joystick inputs alongside the Catch-22 and its joystick and switch inputs. Connecting to the PlayStation 5 console. To connect the Catch-22 to a PS5, you need to plug it into the PS5 console using the Brook Wingman FGC2 adapter that comes with it. You also need to have an accessibility switch plugged into the PS button port, which has a house icon that is displayed on the Catch-22. This will turn it on. You then need to wait for approximately 4 seconds for the PS login screen to appear. You now need a switch plugged into the cross port so you can select an account to log into. You can also use a standard PS4 controller or PS5 controller that is plugged into the Help USB port to log in. We hope you found this video useful. More information on additional features of the Catch-22 can be found on the product page on the OneSwitch website. For more information on alternative controllers for the PlayStation 5 console, please use the PS5 Access tag on the GameAccess website.